Hey everybody, it's SkullDaddy again, and today I'll be discussing targeting on the PlayStation as well as tips and tricks on how to make it easier. Starting with the basics, you can begin targeting by holding R2 or L2 and then tapping R1 or L1. This initiates a soft target lock, which means your character is focused on the target, but you can move around and face in any direction. While this soft target lock is activated, any action that you take will be taken against the thing that you have targeted. This targeting method will actually be focused on whatever your character is facing. It's similar to using X. You face the target, you hold the L2 or R2, tap the L1 or R1, and begin using your actions. The next step is using your hard target lock. You can initiate this by depressing the L3 button, which is actually going to be the left analog stick if you press it into the controller. This is most effective for character classes that have positional skills to use, because no matter which direction you move your character or the controller, your character will always face the target. You have to keep in mind, however, that this will actually slow your movements down, so if your enemy is about to use a large AoE, you may want to disengage the target lock. Next up are positional locations on your target and their indicators. As you can see here, there are three basic locations on any target: front, flank, and rear. The rear position is indicated by the lack of the circle. You can see where it disappears behind the target. Any action you take into the broken part of that circle will be considered the rear of the target. Next up is the flank indicator, which can be seen here as a large triangle or a V with a diamond inside of it. And then lastly, we have the front side of the target, which can be seen as a large arrow. This position is usually reserved for the party's tank. Classes such as the Monk and the Dragoon receive bonuses based on what location they are when they're attacking the target. In this segment, I'll be using my Gunbreaker to show you how to quickly target enemies, pick them up, and then move to another target, as well as how to switch between the targets quickly and efficiently. As you can see, with each new enemy that I attack, they are added to the enemy list on the left side of the screen. Now that I've got several enemies gathered together, I can show you how I switch between targets. Here I'm holding R2 and tapping R1, or holding L2 and tapping L1 to switch up and down through the enemy list. Next up, I'll show you actually how to cycle through your enemy list itself and pick out specific enemies to attack. In order to toggle through the enemies directly on your enemy list, simply hold the L1 button and tap up or down on your D-pad. You can see it as it scrolls through with the orange or yellow line in the enemy list. You can either tap X on the highlighted target that you want to switch to, or you can simply use the ability. If you just use the ability, you'll automatically switch back to your other locked target as soon as that ability has been cast. Here you can see that this is actually useful while tanking, as I have lost hate on one of the targets, so I switch down to it, use one attack on it, pull it back to my tank, and then switch back to another target. Next up, I'll be showing you how to cycle through your party list. You simply press up or down on the D-pad. You could either highlight a party member and cast a spell on it, and then your character will switch back to its other highlighted target, or you can press X on the party member, which will keep you focused on them. Here I'm going to show you how to actually select party members that are in a different alliance when you're in a raid group. At the top left hand corner of the screen is the alliance list. In order to select players that are in that list, hold the L1 button and tap left or right on the D-pad. This can be very useful if you have a party member's healer that goes down and you need to select them quickly to either cast a raise or a heal on them. In this clip, I'm running my healer in a basic 4-man party. If you pay close attention, you can see me actually target the boss, And then by tapping square while he is targeted, it'll bring up a menu where I can set that boss as a focused target, which will appear in the middle of the screen. What this does is allows me to see the boss's cast bar, so while I'm healing my party, I can actually pay attention to the spells and abilities the boss is using, and dodge AoEs or look for tank busters. In the rest of this clip, I'm just doing some basic healing. While I healed in groups and 4-man parties, even on raid teams, I never actually target specifically any player. I always cycle through the party list to cast any healing spells on the people who need them. This is truly the easiest and fastest way to heal your party, as click targeting on a PlayStation is practically impossible. And for the final portion of my video, I'm just going to show you a quick overview on how to set targeting filters. This goes for enemies, inanimate objects, NPCs, and PCs. You simply go over to character configurations, scroll over to your filters, and what this does is allow you to actually set different filters for your targets and how you want them to be targeted. Keep in mind that these filters are only effective with the D-pad targeting system by tapping left and right. These filters do not affect the trigger targeting system that I was speaking of at the beginning of this video. Well, everybody, that's that. There's a lot to the targeting system on the PlayStation. I did my best to try to break it down and make it as simple as possible. If you'd like to see me more videos like this, please subscribe, leave a comment, and drop a like. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and happy gaming.